Dear students, welcome to the SDK Health Sciences Biochemistry classes. Today our topic is shuttle pathways, shuttle mechanism for NADH. Before that we'll go to the actual shuttle pathways. Let me give you a brief review of the previous session. We discussed in the previous session the process of phosphorylation, and we said that phosphorylation is of two types. One is substrate level phosphorylation, another is oxidative phosphorylation. We said substrate level phosphorylation took place at the site of the reaction, where between reaction A to B, ATP is synthesized from the ADP. So ATP is synthesized from the ADP. Either the phosphate is directly coming from the substrate, or the reaction is so much strong that it adheres an inorganic phosphate with the ADP to make ATP. This is the example of substrate level phosphorylation. On the other hand, in the oxidative phosphorylation, we mentioned that in the metabolic process, hydrogens are released. These hydrogens are accepted by the hydrogen acceptors. These hydrogen acceptors are of two kinds. One is NAD, another is FAD. When NAD accepts anhydride ion, it becomes NADH plus hydrogen ion. And if FAD accepts hydrogen, so it becomes FADH2. And then these hydrogen NAD or FADH2, both of these, they enter into the mitochondria. In the mitochondria, in the inner mitochondrial membrane, where electron transport chain is situated, they enter into the electron transport chain, and then they give energy in the form of ATP. This is what we discussed in the previous session. We further said that if these NAD and FAD, if these reducing equivalents, they are called reducing equivalents, if they are present in the mitochondria, so then there is no issue. NADH and FADH, they are present inside the mitochondria. Electron transport chain is also situated inside the mitochondria, and then they will give us ATP. One NADH will give us 3 ATP, while one FADH2 will give us 2 ATP. But if the situation is such that NAD is coming from outside, such as in the case of glycolysis, NADH is outside the mitochondria in cytosol. Say for example, the process of glycolysis produces NADH. Now, and this NADH, now we need this NADH in the mitochondria, but technically this NADH cannot cross the mitochondrial membrane. So there should be a mechanism that mechanism transfer the NADH or transfer the hydrogen, an electron of the NAD. We don't need NADH as sole to be transferred inside, because inside the NAD is available. NAD is present inside. We have plenty of NAD inside. So what actually we need to transfer this hydrogen, an electron of this, to inside. And this process is carried out with the help of shuttle pathways. So let me make it more easy. such a way that if NADH is present in cytosol and we need to transfer this into mitochondria, then we will take the help of shuttle pathways. We'll take the help of. There are two shuttle pathways. One is maillate shuttle pathway, another is glycerophosphate shuttle pathway. Shuttle pathways. These are the enzymatic pathways that can transport electron of the cytosolic NADH, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, into the mitochondria. That can transport electron of cytosolic NADH, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, into mitochondria. In the mitochondria, these NADH will enter into the electron transport chain and provide ATP. As we said earlier, 1 ATP will provide 3 ATP. The new system says 2.5 ATP. It is important that same enzyme should be present on the both sides. So, if this is a cell, this is the mitochondria, this is cytoplasm. So, if enzyme A is catalyzing a reaction here, it should be present there inside. We have two kinds of the shuttle pathways. Number one is maillate shuttle pathway, another is a glycerophosphate shuttle pathway. Maillate shuttle pathway is more effective. It is present in the liver, heart and kidney. However, this glycerophosphate shuttle is not that much effective. It is less effective, particularly in human. So, maillate shuttle pathways. I'm giving you first a brief idea of this and then we'll go to the actual cycle. So just see this one. First of all, this one. This is an oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate is a 4-carbon compound. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can see carboxylic acid and then keto group and then 2 hydrogen and then carboxyl group. So there is an enzyme known as maillate dehydrogenase. So this is a substrate, oxaloacetate. This substrate is converted into product which is called maillate. That's why it's called maillate shuttle. And then we'll see how it helps in the transport of hydrogen from the cytoplasm to the mitochondria. So this oxaloacetate, it accepts 2 hydrogen NADH. This 2 hydrogen of the NADH. NADH will provide 2 hydrogen, and then this is reduced. It will be oxidized with the help of enzyme maillate dehydrogenase, and then this oxaloacetate is converted into maillate. So see here, this is same. This position will change into CH2OH, CHNOH. This is same. Carbon number 3 is same, and carbon number 4 is same. Clear? Now I hope this picture is clear to you guys. Now I'm taking you to the actual shuttle. Now this maillate will enter into the mitochondria. So now keep the previous picture in your mind. So we have that oxaloacetate here. We start here. This is the mitochondrial membrane. This is the mitochondrial membrane. This is cytosol. This is mitochondria, and this is mitochondrial matrix. From here onward is mitochondria. Okay, so step 1, what will happen? Oxaloacetate will combine with the NADH. 2 hydrogen will shift from this NADH to the oxaloacetate. This NADH will be converted into NAD, which is oxidized form, and then this oxaloacetate, as we saw in the previous example, oxaloacetate will be converted into maillate. Maillate is permeable to mitochondrial membrane. It will cross the mitochondria, enter into the mitochondria. Okay, once it enter into the mitochondria, so the same enzyme which was catalyzing this reaction in the cytoplasm, maillate dehydrogenase, the same enzyme is present in the mitochondria as well. So the same enzyme, again, because it is a reversible reaction, so the mitochondrial maillate dehydrogenase will welcome this maillate, and as soon as it attach with this one, so it will bring NAD of the mitochondria from inside the mitochondria and take those hydrogen that has been given to this maillate by the NADH. So then it will take these two hydrogen back, and then NAD will convert into NADH, and the task is completed. What was our task? Our task was to transport these two hydrogen from cytoplasm to the mitochondria. From cytoplasm to the mitochondria. And then we did this. So what we did? We provide these two hydrogen to oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate is converted into malate. Malate malate crosses the mitochondrial membrane, enter into the mitochondria. In the mitochondria, this malate was welcomed by malate dehydrogenase enzyme, and this enzyme brought NAD from the mitochondria and attaches and took two hydrogen from the malate and then converted into NADH. And this NADH, as per our rule, it will enter into the electron transport chain, and in the electron transport chain it will give us ATP. And we know that one NADH molecule with the two hydrogen electron, they will enter into the electron transport chain, and then when they will move in the electron transport chain, it will give us 3 ATP. Clear? This mechanism is done. But now we need to regenerate the process. We need to regenerate this oxaloacetate because we need to continue. We need the process to continue. So what will happen now? So once the malate will give two hydrogen to this NAD and convert into NADH2, so this process is done. But what will happen? This malate will convert into oxaloacetate. Now the issue is here that this oxaloacetate cannot cross this mitochondrial membrane directly, cannot come back. So now here we need to do some tricks. What are the trick? Is that there is an amino acid glutamate. And I hope you would be aware with the process of transamination. Transamination is a process where the amino acid gives its amino group to a keto acid like oxaloacetate. So once the amino acid will give its amino group to the keto acid, the amino acid will be converted into a keto acid. And then keto acid will be converted into amino acid, a new amino acid. And this is the process of transamination. So what will happen? This glutamic acid, which is present in the mitochondria, it will release its amino group, and this amino group will attach to oxaloacetate, and then this oxaloacetate will convert it into new amino acid aspartate. Clear? When glutamic acid releases ammonia, this amino group, and so what will happen? This will convert into, here you can see, alpha ketoglutarate. Alpha ketoglutarate. This process is called transamination, and it is catalyzed by the enzyme transaminase. What is transamination? Transamination is a process where amino acid releases amino group and convert it into keto acid. And this amino group, when it is attached to another keto acid, that keto acid is converted into a new amino acid. And this is the process by which the non-essential amino acids are synthesized in our body. Clear, guys? Now what will happen? This keto acid, this alpha ketoglutarate, it will cross the mitochondrial membrane. It will cross the mitochondrial membrane and enter into the cytoplasm. So here is alpha ketoglutarate in the cytoplasm. This is the protein which will serve this function. So it, from one side it will enter the malate, and on the other side it will remove the alpha ketoglutarate. It's called antiport system. One is going on the one side, another is coming on the other side. What will happen to this aspartate? Yes, very good. This aspartate will also cross the mitochondrial membrane through this channel, and then it will enter into the cytoplasm. This aspartate will also enter into the cytoplasm. Now we have aspartate in the cytoplasm, and we have alpha ketoglutarate in the cytoplasm. Clear, guys? Now what will happen? The same mechanism will be repeated again. This aspartate, when it will enter into the cytoplasm, it will again, because aspartic acid is an amino acid and alpha ketoglutarate is a keto acid, it will again release amino group. When it will again release amino group, this amino group will be accepted by this alpha ketoglutarate, and then it will convert into a glutamate amino acid, glutamic acid or glutamate. So when this aspartic acid releases amino group and this alpha ketoglutarate accepts the amino group and is converted into glutamate, so what will happen to the remaining of aspartate? So the remaining of aspartate is now oxaloacetate. So regeneration of the oxaloacetate. This also again, so this is a process of transamination. One process was inside the transamination where glutamate gave the amino group to the oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate was converted into aspartate and glutamate was converted into alpha ketoglutarate. Then alpha ketoglutarate come out into the cytoplasm. Similarly, aspartate came out to the cytoplasm, and here again next transamination took place where the aspartic acid releases a amino group, attaches to the alpha ketoglutarate. Alpha ketoglutarate converted into glutamate, and by itself it is converted into oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate is ready for the next cycle. Now what we need glutamate inside the mitochondria. We need glutamate inside the mitochondria. So glutamate is easily crossed with the same protein which was shifting aspartate out. The same protein will shift the glutamate into the mitochondria, and then it will reach to its place again. But with the help of this one, with the glutamate, with the transport of the glutamate, what will happen? Hydrogen is also, one of the hydrogen is also transported inside. So this mechanism is called symport. For hydrogen it is called symport. So hydrogen is also, one of the proton is also one of the hydrogen is also transferred inside the mitochondria. However, aspartate and glutamate, they are antiport. They are antiport because aspartate is going to the cytoplasm and glutamate is coming back to the mitochondria. This pathway is called malate pathway or malate shuttle system. I hope it's clear. Let me repeat it again for you. What will happen when there is a cytoplasmic NAD, cytoplasmic NADH, in, say for example, in glycolysis, this cytoplasmic NADH has to be transferred to the mitochondria because it cannot cross the mitochondria, so it will attach with the oxaloacetate will convert into malate will transfer the mitochondrial membrane, enter into the mitochondria. In the mitochondria, malate dehydrogenase enzyme will welcome this malate and bring NADH from the mitochondria, took 2 hydrogen from the malate, attach with the NAD will convert into NADH2, malate will convert into oxaloacetate. Our job is done here, process is complete. But now we need to regenerate this oxaloacetate. So oxaloacetate cannot cross the mitochondrial membrane, so it will get an amino group from the glutamate and it will be converted into aspartate. The glutamate will convert into alpha ketoglutarate. Glutarate will come out to the cytoplasm. Aspartate will come out to the cytoplasm, and then again there will be a transamination. So then aspartate will convert into oxaloacetate and alpha ketoglutarate will convert into glutamate, and glutamate will reverse back to the mitochondria. This system is active in the human systems, in animal systems, and it is very active in the liver, kidneys. The other pathway is glycerophosphate shuttle or glycerophosphate pathway. This phosphate is not much active in the human body. So what will happen here? Here the acceptor is dihydroxyacetone. So see, this is 3-carbon compound, keto sugar, dihydroxyacetone phosphate. This is alcoholic group, and then this is the second alcoholic group where the phosphate is added, and this is the keto group. NADH2, say for example from glycolysis or any pathway, it's come and attach, will give 2 hydrogen to this, and then this dihydroxyacetone phosphate will convert into glycerol 3-phosphate. See here, this is converted into glycerol 3-phosphate. Now the glycerol 3-phosphate can easily cross the mitochondrial membrane. So now let's see here. Any metabolic process that gives NADH and it is present in the cytoplasm, and you want to transfer this into mitochondria. So what will happen? NADH will give 2 hydrogen to dihydroxyacetone phosphate, like this one. And then when dihydroxyacetone phosphate accept the 2 hydrogen, it will convert into glycerol 3-phosphate. Enzyme is glycerol 3-phosphate or glycerol phosphate dehydrogenase. NADH will convert into NAD. This is reduced, this is oxidized. Now this glycerol 3-phosphate will cross the mitochondrial membrane, enter into the mitochondria. Will enter into the mitochondria. So here what will happen here? Now there is another trick. The outside donor in the cytoplasm is NAD. But this is the problem of this glycerophosphate shuttle, that its inside acceptor is FAD. So what will happen? This FAD will come and take 2 hydrogen from this glycerol 3-phosphate, and then it will be converted into FADH2, and then glycerol 3-phosphate will convert into dihydroxyacetone, and then dihydroxyacetone will come back. and then it will ready for next cycle. The same enzyme glycerol phosphate dehydrogenase is here. Glycerol phosphate dehydrogenase is here on the cytoplasm. But what will happen here? This FADH2, when it is formed, inner acceptor is FAD, and then FAD will enter into the electron transport chain, and it will move in the electron transport chain, and it will make energy. So we know our previous knowledge that a FAD will give us 2 ATP. So this glycerophosphate shuttle, it is a pathway of where 1 ATP less is synthesized, because the inner acceptor is FAD instead of NAD. Clear, guys? So let me repeat it again for you. What happened in the glycerophosphate shuttle? The acceptor is dihydroxyacetone, and dihydroxyacetone accept the 2 hydrogen and then convert into glycerol 3-phosphate. Glycerol 3-phosphate crosses the mitochondrial membrane, enter into the mitochondrial matrix where the acceptor is FAD. FAD take 2 hydrogen from glycerol 3-phosphate and convert it into FADH2, which enter into the electron transport chain and provide 2 ATP. However, this glycerol 3-phosphate will reverse back to dihydroxyacetone phosphate. It will come out, and then new cycle will be ready. This pathway is not effective in human or animal system. Malate shuttle pathway is more effective in human and animal system. I hope it will be clear now and there will be no confusion. If there is any question, any comment, let me know, and then we'll move to the next session in our next video. Thank you very much and best of luck.